further discussion? Looks like
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you may. Why don't you come up to the table and identify yourself for purposes of the tape, please?
My name is Nyman, and I'm just a public citizen. And I have a question.
Don't apologize for just being a citizen. You're who we work for.
I have.
What was your last name?
Nyman, N-Y-M-A-N. I have witnessed letters, all kinds of correspondences to the board, to all different kinds of public officials, asking for change in this matter. I've seen this matter actually on Channel 5 News, and nothing has changed. People from the board get up and they say, yes, there's problems. No, we're not actually changing anything. I don't see how a letter is going to change anything. I respect you all.
Sure.
I think that you work hard in your efforts, but I don't believe a letter will change anything. I know that Mr. Exie has lost personally and professionally, fighting for his moral rights to be ethical in his profession. And I know that sending a statement in the form of a letter is going to be a letter. Sending a statement in form of monetary value and say, yes, this is what it's worth for us to uphold our laws and what we deem on paper to be morally right, this is what it's worth. I think there's a monetary value to that. I think it's going to send a bigger message. I think it's going to make people say, all right, you're right. Look what's going to happen. Look what's going to happen if we don't do something and make people aware that there are problems out there that aren't being resolved.
Well, I appreciate your comments, and let me just give you my experience. And I know that there are letters, and then there are letters, and people's confidence and faith in government doing things that should be done, or people want them to do, is oftentimes pretty thin. But I do believe that Mr. Exie has raised, certainly sounds to me like a very legitimate issue. And I think the board's even admitted that there's make people comply with the law that they have. I do think that the policy committees that have jurisdiction over those Chapter 326 needs to take a close examination of, and I don't take that lightly, and I tend to think our history is that when we, as a joint House and Senate subcommittee, made up of Democrats and Republicans, make a suggestion, typically changes occur. I think that the board, if the board hasn't awakened to the fact that some changes need to be made, so we're going to be stating that, and I think the focus will be on those policy committees to do the job that they're set up to do and to make the changes that they need to make. It is hard to make a determination on a singular basis here as to whether or not, I mean, if we were to really examine this claim as we should, it would take an enormous amount, or examine this claim to make a determination whether or not all these figures are accurate, the assumptions are accurate. We would have to spend an enormous amount of time examining his company, examining the field, and so on. Oftentimes, when people bring complaints here, whether they get monetary compensation or not, they do a tremendous service in that things are changed because of it. And so I would just suggest to you, Ms. Nyman, that it would be my expectation that this would not just be some letter to placate some folks and to dispose of the problem. It certainly sounds to me like it's a legitimate problem. It needs to be addressed. Some changes need to occur.